Hey ladies, you're watching this because you want to grow great glutes like this over here. But you walk into a gym and you're like, what the fuck do I do? Don't worry, I've got you. If you follow this exact program step by step in this video, you are going to see results really fast. So let's get straight into it.
First thing we're going to do is prime our glutes to feel good. So pop on a band, we're going to go into some banded glute bridges. This one here, we're aiming for constant tension. Notice how the band doesn't go in. I like to have my toes up. And we're just going to go for 2 rounds, 20 reps on each one. Then we're going to go into our first exercise, which is going to be our barbell glute bridge. Now, if you don't know how to do this one or you don't feel comfortable doing this at your gym, I will show you a substitute after this. But this is the barbell glute bridge, which is going to help you really grow those glutes. The first thing we need to do is make sure we get our shoulder blades set onto the bench like I'm showing you right here. This is just so that you don't slip as you do it. And I just want you to watch what happens when you start this out, making sure your shoulder blades are actually on the bench appropriately. Now, the second thing that we're going to do so you don't fuck this up is that you don't have your chin facing towards the roof. Tuck your chin like you've got a peach between your chin and your chest and hold it, and making sure that you keep those ribs nice and tight as you do your barbell hip thrusts and squeeze your butt cheeks. Now, foot position is going to be really important here. Notice how I tucked my feet all the way in and I'm pulling them in. I'm trying to aim for my heels to be underneath my knees, and notice how my toes are pointing out. This is only going to really help me feel those glutes a lot more as I do these barbell hip thrusts. And I'm really focusing on this mind-muscle connection, squeezing my glutes and my butt cheeks as tight as possible on the way up. Now, please, for the love of God, do not do this. This is absolute shit reps. There's no tempo and control. I want you to watch how I'm doing this right here. We're going all the way up and holding it for a second with 3 seconds on the way down. This is an exercise where we're going to be aiming for 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps. And we're going to be resting roughly around 75 seconds to 90 seconds between each set. Now, if you cannot do the barbell hip thrust at your gym, same rules apply with our feet. We're just going to make sure we pull this knob and we go up and down, making sure we feel those glutes work. Toes are still pointing outwards, chin is still tucked, ribs are still tight. Everything still remains the same. This is just a lot easier for you to be able to use if you can't set up a barbell hip thrust at your gym. And your buns are going to burn. Alrighty tighty, so our buns are burning, so we're going to make them hurt even more. So we're doing some deficit lunges, just like I'm showing you right here. Look at that form, look at that technique, look at that tempo, look at that torso leaning forward. I'm going to teach you all of these right now. So use anything that you can to kind of raise your front foot. We're going to be leaning as forward as possible, 3 seconds the way down. This is not a wrong lunge, but with that torso leaning forward a lot more, this is going to put more emphasis on those glutes like we want to do. What this is going to do is put more of that focus onto your thighs, which is not wrong, but we want to take advantage of trying to grow those glutes now. This here is just shit reps. Like, there's no tempo, you're not going all the way down, you're defeating the purpose of the actual deficit. Please don't do that. Now, if you find yourself losing balance, this is more than likely what you're doing. You're stepping right behind each other with those feet. This is what we call walking the rope. Let's not do that. Let's just take that step a little bit further out, and now you have a wider balance, and it's going to be so much more efficient for you to be able to punch out those reps. Now, we're aiming for 4 sets on each leg. We're going to do 15 reps with 3 seconds down, 1 second pause tempo. You're going to do your left leg, then you go into your right leg, and then you rest for at least 90 seconds before you do the second set. All right, hang in there. We're going into our next exercise. We're doing some really deep ass to grass goblet squats. Now, notice how slow I'm going, 3 seconds the way down, 1 second pause at the bottom, and we're making sure we're pushing as far as possible all the way down with our toes facing forward. These are some beautiful goblet squats, if I do say so myself. Now, if you can't do that, I recommend that you do this instead. You're going to be using a box or piling up some plates at the bottom to give you that support so you don't fall over. And we're still going to push those knees out as hard as we can. We're still going to go as low as possible. And we're going to try and punch out 15 reps. Yeah, that's right. 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps. Now, if you find yourself struggling to hold the weight, I'm going to show you a technique that you can use to substitute goblet squats for. But first, I'm going to show you why we're doing it. Because if you hold it between your legs like this, you can see how the kettlebell just kind of smacks the floor, and then you lose all a bunch of tension from your glutes and your legs as well. That's what we don't want. We want to keep tension in the muscles, or they won't tone up and they won't define. So what we do is we grab these big old biscuits that we set to the sides, and we're going to really make sure this is the right height. So I've just used one plate. You may need to use 2 on each side. Toes slightly out, chest nice and tall. We'll still grab onto our kettlebell, and we're going to drive those glutes back, making sure our kettlebell does not touch the floor. I'm going to do a few shit reps here where you can smack the kettlebell against the floor, but you're going to find yourself losing tension on those glutes and legs. Don't do that, okay? So that's another substitute just in case if you're shit at squatting. Our finisher now, this is simple. We're going to grab a band. We're going to sit on a bench. We're going to lean slightly forward, put your hands on your butt, and make sure you feel these muscles actually work. We're going to open our hips, hold it for a second, slowly back in, okay? Feet don't move. It's all about those hips moving forward, or so I should say moving outwards. We want to keep that torso leaning forward so we can feel those glutes feel a bit of a burn and more connected as well. And here's the burner, okay? We're going to do 3 sets of 20 reps. So once again, the emphasis on this is really just to lean forward so you feel those glutes a lot more. We do not want to lean backwards or keep upright. You're going to find yourself actually a little bit more disconnected with those glutes. Once you've done that, you've completed the amazing glute workout that's going to see some amazing results if you keep consistent with this at least twice per week.
Now in the next video, I'm going to show you how to tone up your arms.